So if we look at a sagittal deadlift, okay, we go straight up and down. The frontal plane moves us into AB and AD duction, or lateral flexion. My hips, abduction and adduction, and my knees and my feet and ankles as well, invert and evert. And when we look at a transverse plane, we have to get into rotation. And anything that you're lifting in the transverse plane kind of automatically ticks the box for the sagittal plane and the frontal plane at the same time. So I'll use my right side as an example on this. Okay, everything is split and everything is equal as I do this sagittal deadlift. But if the bag seems to be off center slightly and I want to shift into position, I'm going to use a diagonal deadlift to take hold of the bag and pick it up safely, back flat, feet flat, etc. This is a safe exercise to perform, and yes, my knees are doing different things and the weight is distributed slightly unevenly, but that's good for the knees. Your knees will give you a warning when they go too far, so listen to the knees for that threshold. But for me, this range of motion for my knees is nice. It's needed. And the transverse plane, you start with the bag parallel to the foot outside of the body. So I'm in a hinge, so I've got the sagittal plane, I've got flexion. As I shift my weight to the right, my pelvis is tilting to my femur, so I've got adduction of this hip and slight abduction of that hip because it's coming away from the femur. And then I rotate into position. So I'm collapsing my pelvis onto my femur, rotating my knee, tib, fib. My foot is staying planted to the floor, so it's giving me a nice arch in this foot, whilst this foot collapses in to enable that to happen. And then I drive it up safely through the transverse plane in a deadlift that we all know and love. Back through the heels, core engaged, shoulders back, into a transverse deadlift or twisting deadlift. Give them a go. All right, let's look at a clean. So we're going to look at a clean in the sagittal plane, straightforward power clean with the power bag. So I'm going to bring my feet shoulder width apart in line with the straps. I'm going to sit my hips back, take hold of the straps, explode up through the deadlift with a little bit more power this time. And as I do so, the deadlift being here, as I do the clean, bit more power, pull the bag up towards my chin, wind my hands underneath it and catch it across my chest. Unravel it, back down to the floor. Looking at a frontal plane version of the clean, I'm going to take a pace to the right. So that the right strap is in line with my left foot. Slide my hips backwards to the left, down towards the bag. Drive it up, again with give or take a 60-40 split between my legs this time. Drive it up and catch it across the front of my chest. And repeat. To work the other side equally, I take a pace to the left. My right foot is in line with the left strap. Slide down to take hold of the bag. Diagonally clean it up to the middle. Looking at a transverse clean, okay? Enabling rotation through a dynamic lifting pattern. I will put my foot parallel to, in line with, the power bag. Feet flat on the floor. I rotate to the right, flex, take hold of the bag, drive it up, and catch it in a front rack position, winding it up like a corkscrew. And if I wish to switch sides, I will take the dead weight from the floor to the outside of my left foot. Both feet stay flat on the floor as I rotate into position. Brace my core, take the bag, and drive it up to a front hold or front rack position. Try to maintain both feet flat. Both knees allow exceptional amounts of rotation in the transverse plane, whilst my back is staying neutral, or flat as I take the bag. Let's look at the third tier in a dynamic lifting pattern, this being a snatch. I'm going to attempt to take this in all three planes from the floor to above my head without stopping. So, building up from the clean, feet shoulder width apart in line with the straps, seeing my hips back, come down, grab hold of the straps, explode it forcefully through my legs, through my heels, extending my legs, hips, shoulders into a triple extension and high pull position. I'm going to wind the bag underneath my hands at the top and catch it above my head in an arms locked out position. Okay, looking at the snatch, power snatch, through the frontal plane, how to build up diagonal acceleration and catching it at the top with my core locking the bag in position. So just like the deadlift and just like the clean, I'm going to take a step to the right of the bag so that my left foot is in line with the right strap. I'm going to drive down diagonally, explode up diagonally, and catch the bag above my head with my arms locked straight at the top. So this is a frontal plane, triple extension, high pull to a power snatch. Then I move to the left of the bag so that my right foot is in line with the left strap. Slide down diagonally, drive up diagonally and catch above my head without stopping. Looking at a transverse power snatch with a power bag. The aim of this is to work a dynamic, explosive, transverse plane exercise, lifting exercise, taking a dead weight from the floor to above our head without stopping. So, just like the deadlift, just like the clean, the power bag is parallel to my foot on the floor, the outside of my left foot. I'm going to rotate down, take hold of the bag, explode up with even more power than the clean this time, triple extension through a rotation, high pull through a rotation, and lock it above my head without rotating too far. Don't forget to work the other side.